Hi, Promise Fellow Supervisors. I'm Noam Wiggs. I'm the Training Development and Evaluation Manager or Director. Um, and right now, I just want to do kind of the special pieces that I mostly do with Promise Fellows, and that's the training around their activities. Um, you all have already applied and said, hey, I've got these meaningful activities with students that need support. And so here are the few special pieces that they'll be getting through us in order to hopefully augment and have more positive student outcomes. So just to start off, and I'll be giving much more individual feedback if you're a returning site in the first live virtual training, and kind of paint an accurate reality of what COVID created for us last year if you are a new person. But essentially, here's the list of ways that a student can qualify. Either they're have an attendance rate of less than 90%, or they are tardy to school 40% of the time, or on the student engagement instrument, kind of the survey that says how I feel or my thoughts and feelings about school, they have a threshold of 100 or less. We will dive into that deeper in the live training. But the timeline of everything and how it works out is a bit unique if you're watching this for a September 1st start. We're in this unique reality where Labor Day is late this year. So on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, your Promise Fellow will do an intro activity from 9 to 11. On their first day, they will have 4 to 5 pre-recorded trainings that they're expected to do for the rest of the day, and then they'll have live virtual trainings on that Thursday and Friday, and they can hit the ground running with you at your school or community center come next Tuesday after Labor Day. If you are watching this later in the year, then essentially on that very first day, they'll still have that 9 to 11 like logistics and strengths-based activity with the expectation of doing pre-recorded trainings that help build some foundation with their live trainings happening the Wednesday, Friday, about a week and a half later. And with all of that, they're creating relationships through establish, maintain, restore strategies, building out some motivational interviewing skills. And as they make these relationships, doing an SEI with a student. I have more and more schools and sites that we've partnered with that have started doing this just site-wide for everyone. So I will continually try to push that as a thoughtful way to get like engagement data on your students. But if not, and your Promise Fellow is doing it, they need to have a relationship with that student first, just so they feel comfortable and safe answering questions about how they feel about school. And then a little over a month in, we'll get into goal setting. So here's how all of that should fit together. Every Promise Fellow will start with relationships. And we use establish, maintain, restore, which is work of an adolescent psychologist at the University of Minnesota, Dr. Clay Cook. And effectively, we all are going to probably use the strategies that have been used with us. And so building out more strategies for folks to make relationships, along with making sure that we can keep those relationships going. And then if and when something happens or there's harm, that you have a way to hopefully repair the relationship. I'm not going to spend much time saying the why, what, and how. I will share a lot on the how at the bottom. Whenever we meet with your Promise Fellow, there'll be check-ins on like, how's it going? How is your relationships evolving over time? Just to make sure that they're being reflective of how they feel like the relationships are going. So that way they can set their own goals on hopefully positively moving pieces forward. And all of this kind of centers on this idea that sense of belonging is a core human need. And there's a National Institute of Justice survey that indicated that there's no incidents of school violence that occurred by individuals who felt valued, respected, and had that sense of belonging. And so thus belonging is considered to be a root cause that young people experience. And so hopefully your Promise Fellows can help, create and network that sense of belonging at your site. And here's kind of just like decision tree based around establish, maintain, restore. Like, have you established a relationship? No. Here's strategies. Do you have difficulty establishing them? Yes or no? Here's different strategies. Here on the next slide, in using that puzzle software, I will also send you a direct link to where to find this on the Google site. So after your Promise Fellows had a relationship, that's where they need to do the student engagement instrument, which is a Check-in Connect survey, which is how do I think and feel about school, to see those attitudes and perceptions. And it was developed by the University of Minnesota. You can see the doctors at the top that did it. Essentially, it measures these I think and I feel statements. So how do I feel about my teachers, my peer support, my family support? How do I, how am I engaged, or how do I think about my relevant school is to what I need to do in life, my aspirations and goals, my motivation. And I'll link again here to the Google site, where you can both find just a hard copy version. I have made a Google Sheet that you can retroactively make a Google form out of in order to have your own that you could use within your own audiences, that I would not have control of. So I do have like a walkthrough guide. So if you are looking to do this with a large group of students and want your own, I have made it, and I'm happy to help in that way. You can always reach out. So then your Promise Fellow's gone in, they start to work on relationships. They feel like they have a strong enough relationship. So after a few weeks, they do that SEI, and now they have that student's attitudes and perception. Then about a little over a month in, they'll have their 101 training. And then that's when we start engaging with like WOOP goal setting. And I'm going to link some WOOP goal setting video if you're looking for the science behind it right here. So essentially, WOOP goal setting is mental contrasting with implementation intent. The piece on the lower right really outlines it. So helping your Promise Fellow engage with young people, for aka the young person, to talk through what they want to get done, what outcomes would happen from that, what's standing in their way. There's lots of things that aren't in their control that are staying in the way, but for these WOOP goals, like what, for what I want to have done stands in my way, and have them make a plan. And so then that way they've done some pre-processing. So when something gets in their way, they don't flounder. They already know what they want to do. And so that's the heart of WOOP goal setting. So start to finish, making a relationship, having EMR strategies to help you. So you have a relationship, doing an SEI. Once you have that perception data about the student, now I can hopefully have enough info to help you guide yourself as a young person through your own goals. So that is the storyline of kind of the activities that we will be adding to the thoughtful work you're already doing. If you have any questions, please ask.